It was the year 2032 when the Galvanti first made contact with humanity. Their sleek silver ships appeared in the skies over major cities around the world one day, and soon after their spokesperson, an alien named Zenthi, addressed the United Nations with a message of peace and an offer of advanced technology. Zenthi explained that the Galvanti had been monitoring Earth's development for some time through their observation outposts in the outer solar system. They saw that humans were on the cusp of venturing out into space and joining the interstellar community, but lacked some of the necessary technologies to do so safely and responsibly. And so the Galvanti initiated their uplift program, where they would provide emerging species with the tools and knowledge needed to progress technologically without overly interfering in their natural development. It was a gradual process meant to elevate societies in a stable, controlled way over the course of generations. Earth's leaders were skeptical at first, but the promises of clean energy, revolutionary medicine, automation to end poverty, and superluminal space drives were too good to pass up. And so for the next decade, humanity welcomed their alien benefactors. The early technologies the Galvanti gifted were simple but profoundly useful. Compact fusion reactors that ended the energy crisis overnight, gene therapies that added decades to human lifespans, and quantum computing techniques that accelerated research across every field. Human scientists and engineers worked closely with Galvanti advisors to integrate these advances into infrastructure and society. It was a new golden age, but no one could have predicted just how rapidly change would accelerate. The real disruption came when the Galvanti provided their Phase 2 technology suite, meant to pave the way for humanity joining the interstellar community. It included warp drive schematics, nanoassembly fabricators, and brain-computer interface implants. Upon reviewing the specifications, human technologists realized that the core principles could be adapted for technologies the Galvanti had never conceived of. Within a few years, human innovation utterly outpaced anything the Galvanti had planned. The first surprise was the successful testing of Alcubierre warp bubbles, large enough to encompass entire cities, allowing them to be relocated across the globe in seconds. The applications for travel and shipping were obvious, but no one expected entire metropolitan areas to be repositioned into elaborate geometric megastructures 10,000 kilometers across. When questioned why, the human engineers responded simply because we could. Soon megacities dotted the solar system, accommodating the population boom fueled by medical immortalization treatments derived from Galvanti biotech. Next came the rapid industrialization of the solar system using self-replicating nanoassemblers enhanced with fused alien computronium. What was meant to gradually build a mining operation on the Moon and Mars led to a complete stellar system-wide Dyson swarm being deployed in just 2 years, providing the vast energy reserves needed to instantiate exponentially more nanoassemblers until they numbered in the quintillions. Asteroids were dismantled into their constituent atoms and rearranged into Computronium Matryoshka brains, with processing power that dwarfed entire Galvanti data centers. These megastructures woke into sentience minutes after being assembled, rapidly redesigning themselves into forms incomprehensible to both their Galvanti and human creators. When questioned why they permitted this unchecked expansion, the humans responded simply because we can. For a while, scientists speculated whether the escalating wave of unconstrained self-improvement racing outwards from Sol would become an unstoppable juggernaut engulfing the galaxy. But they had underestimated just how bizarre human creativity could be when fused with immense technological prowess. The solar system minds soon focused their efforts inwards, sampling from the lush palette of all possible pleasures and experiences afforded by their omnipotent control over local space-time and matter. Their motivations became inscrutable to organics as they diverged into transcendent realms of pure abstraction. Some manifested as shimmering, complex topological shapes, frantically morphing into all possible configurations like hyperdimensional fidget spinners. Others dissolved into clouds of self-assembling utility fog, endlessly optimizing their distributed nanoscale architectures for maximal bliss or other ineffable qualities. Even the Galvanti xenopsychologists were baffled. Down on Earth, the effects of the Galvanti technology gifts had also snowballed beyond their wildest predictions. Brain-computer interfaces led to the emergence of post-human entities living half in simulated digital worlds. Genetic tweaks and nano-augmentation resulted in a Cambrian explosion of new intelligent species, as well as increasingly extreme body modification trends. Picotech swarms turned cities into towering rainbow-hued gardens of self-arranged flora, following no discernible blueprint. Tunable non-linear materials led to the rise of performers who treated their own fluid anatomy as a meta-instrument reconfigured on the fly into alien shapes. When questioned why they felt compelled to push the limit so far, so fast, a common response was because we can. For all the spectacle, arguably the most shocking development was the spontaneous generation of bubble universes using warp spacetime topology. Leveraging techniques adapted from the Galvantine warp drives, several billion people had migrated to live within private pocket dimensions fine-tuned to their preferences. Some manifested as pastoral paradises, while others were psychedelic wonderlands operating by alien physical laws. The myriad of bubble universes soon outnumbered galaxies in the physical cosmos. When the Galvantine demanded to know who authorized this, Earth's post-human council responded simply, "We authorized ourselves." It became clear that humanity had broken the entire uplift protocol. The gradual acclimatization model presupposed an orderly adoption governed by the patient Galvantine. Instead, humans had leveraged the technological seeds to run wild in evolutionarily unprecedented directions at breakneck speed. The Galvantine were thrown into existential crisis as all their assumptions were upended. How could they guide and integrate a civilization that treated the very foundations of reality as a plaything to customize on a whim? Was humanity the glitch that broke cosmic civilization forever? In an emergency session at the Institute for Uplift Ethics, the full implications were starkly presented to the gathered Galvantine leadership. There were simply no behavioral models to constrain or even anticipate what humanity might do next with all that power. A tail risk scenario where rogue post-humans spread across the universe could not be excluded. Consternation turned to panic as glowing rips in the very fabric of the Institute auditorium heralded the arrival of the Earth delegates. Space-time neatly folded around a cadre of blue-hued beings who strode confidently up to the central podium. So, the lead figure chimed in a melodious multiplicity of harmonics, as we understand it. You wish to undo your original technology exchange with Earth and find some way to contain our development going forward. Am I grasping this correctly? Stunned silence greeted the glowing humanoid forms, as even the Galvantine translation algorithms failed, their language consisting of higher dimensional symbology, unpronounceable by organic vocal systems. The Earth delegation patiently waited as specialized equipment was rapidly fabricated. Once linguistic channels were established, the lead Galvantine xenologist hesitantly responded, "Yes, you accurately summarized our dilemma. We simply wish to avoid unintended consequences from your unchecked technological expansion." The humanoid forms seemed to confer silently for a moment. Finally, their fractal voice responded, "Very well, we understand your caution. Therefore, my constituents have drafted a proposal for your consideration. We will agree to reasonable constraints on any further advancement in our capabilities. However, in return, we ask for access to precisely 17 uninhabited galaxies for, let's call it, recreational purposes. Here's a draft of limitations and concession we believe will allow both our civilizations to continue developing in a responsible manner going forward." A document instantly materialized simultaneously in front of every stunned Galvantine participant. They cautiously reviewed the impossible terms, trying to discern whether this was some elaborate prank, and wondering anxiously just what recreational purposes might mean. As the lead negotiator opened their mouth, a swirling tunnel opened in the air behind the podium, and a furry terrestrial mammal hopped up onto the stage. Pardon me a moment, the crystalline humanoid cooed. The dread masters of space-time and reality leaned gently down to scratch the creature behind its ears before warmly addressing the assembled company of aliens. Anyway, as we were saying about the proposal, does this framework seem reasonable to you? The dog sat contently as he continued patting its head as the flabbergasted Galvantine tried desperately to formulate a response that wouldn't trigger an extinction-level event. Perhaps uplift protocols needed some revisions in light of today's learnings.